In a world where knowledge is power, listen to industry-leading experts discuss the future of digital currency. Welcome to the Crypto Untangled podcast. Learn the ins and outs of cryptocurrency and blockchain and take your wealth to the next level. Now, here is your host, Dr. Boudib.
Kyle, welcome to this episode of Crypto Untangled. Can you tell us, please, a little bit about yourself and about the Dedhed project?
Yeah, sure. Well, personally, I've been doing this kind of lowbrow art for pretty much the majority of my life. I've probably sort of the last 10 years or so got into it a little bit more. I've dabbled in graphic design for other things. I've done like livery design and stuff for vehicles and all kind of things, but I've always enjoyed doing this kind of illustration, just a little bit of nonsense on the side, a little bit of fun. And yeah, when I discovered that the NFTs were a thing, I'd always wanted to get involved with trading cards. I've always thought trading cards were cool. I used to collect basketball cards when I was younger, and also things like the garbage pail kids and things like that. So I figured when I seen the NFTs and I could do something like that, I thought this is right up my alley, and just jumped straight in. Started the Dedhed project. So used a lot of the artworks that I had already, released series 1. Sort of just dived into that without really knowing what I was doing. I learned an awful lot. I was actually manually creating all the packs for that one. So people would buy a pack and I'd manually send the contents out, and then I found out how to actually create packs with using the NFT Blocks app and use that for series 2. And yeah, it's going strong now. So yeah, very good.
I'm happy to hear that. So how did you develop your career basically? And what does your work aim to say?
Well, as far as developing, like the illustrating part of it has never been such of a career as such. I mean, this is at the moment, it's probably the biggest part of it being a career that it's ever been for me. But yeah, it's always just been a hobby, and like I said, I've drawn from day dot, and I've always tried to learn new ways to do illustration. I always take something different on at a time. Do little like commission pieces for people here and there. So yeah, that as far as developing it, it's just been a matter of learning new styles. Obviously, at some point I used to draw on pen and paper, and I learned how to go to digital. And you just got to move with the times with that sort of thing. And as far as what I wanted to say, really, I don't really want it to say anything apart from this is me. This is how my mind works. It's a little bit messed up at times, but I wouldn't say I'm actually going out there trying to project a message or anything. It's just whatever's in my head at the time, and I just like I like putting a bit of humor into it, and yeah, making it interesting.
So awesome. You said about humor, and I've seen some of your work. I basically bought some of your very first cars that were there. If you recall, I messaged you asking, is it really you or somebody pretend?
Yeah.
So how can you describe the style? It's a bit of comedy. It's a bit of, as you said, there's a humor inside it. There's the sketches inside it. So how was that kind of brought in, and by whom were you influenced?
Well, initially I was a big fan of comics, but not necessarily your comic books as such, more so your short line comic strips that you'd see in your newspapers. So it's probably not familiar worldwide, but in Australia and New Zealand, there was a real well-known comic strip called Foot Rot Flats. And the artist that created that was Murray Ball. And he was probably one of my first sort of real influences, and I used to try and draw the characters the same as what he did. And then from there, I used to be into collecting Mad magazines, so a lot of this illustration style in Mad magazines I took on. And I pretty much just copied all the people that I liked for the first, in my teen years, and then towards the end of my teen years and early 20s, I really started to develop my own style. and then I got more into artists like Ed Roth and Robert Williams, who are more known for their lowbrow work and doing old hot rod and monster style artwork. And then they've done album covers for bands and bits and pieces like that. So monster art really sort of come into it. Yeah, I guess what they call it is lowbrow. And yeah, it's always sort of tongue in cheek kind of illustration.
Perfect. You've been like since a while basically in illustration. What do you like and what do you dislike about it? And what do you like and dislike about the NFT market at the moment?
Well, there's as far as the NFT market goes, it's going to be really interesting because it's just a new market that's developed, and it's given a lot of artists that really haven't had an outlet to be able to get their art out there to the masses and actually earn something from it. So, you know, for every artist that is out there making money, there's 5,000 that aren't. So the first, draw card to it, I think, is being able to sell a little bit of your work. And I see people getting involved with like OpenSea and Rarible and selling their works for $4,000 or $5,000. You need to do that, and you just need to be lucky, I think, that someone likes your work and you might sell one. I like the wax market because it's much more low budget. You can sell, you can mass produce the items a little bit more. Initially, that's sort of the draw card to it. But I think as you get into it, well, for me personally, it's been a real rewarding way to get in touch with fans of my art. So I've brought it out to a whole new market, and obviously the community around the wax blockchain is very, very sort of hands-on and interactive. So I've got my Discord channels and my Telegram where I'm directly interacting with the people that are buying my art, and I think that's pretty unique in an art market as such. If you're selling something on a wall at a gallery, you're generally not interacting with those people. So yeah, I really like that, and that's been the most rewarding thing now. And I chat to people on the regular now that are buying my art. I've got a couple other people developing projects and that I keep in touch with as well. And yeah, I think the community's the best thing. The negative about all that is that, yeah, there is a lot of huge influx in the market, and unfortunately there's going to be some casualties with that. I feel there are a lot of people coming out there, and as more come into the market, there's going to be less people buying the product. So I think as time goes on, it's going to be much harder for new artists to come into the market. But like anything like this, it will balance itself out over time, and those who want to put in the work and get a product out there should succeed, and those who just want to make a quick buck should get spat out pretty quickly.
Awesome. I've seen, as you said before, that the sale pack in your first series was quite manual. I remember that I got a drop from you after I got one of the packs. But that went quite good, and the series 2 is ongoing at the moment. So how can you comment about this? So the sale in general on the Wax blockchain, and how did you manage to grow your fan base and your collector base, and what can you do to stand out in such overcrowded market?
I think, like I mentioned before, you just need to keep in contact with your buyers and your fans. If you go quiet for a couple of days in this market, your sales just stop. So you need to constantly be coming up with something new, and that's what I was doing. You got to listen to your fans too. So in series 1, I was doing it manually, which was working, but people weren't getting that thrill of the pack opening, and it was taking time to get it, and it was also very labor intensive for myself as well. So when I managed to go to the pack opening through NFT blocks, that gave the people the thrill of the opening the pack. And now as we move on from that, I'm learning new stuff through series 2, where people are really starting to look towards pre-minted packs instead of mint on demand, because otherwise now it's just a race to the first mints. Whereas with pre-minted packs, that even towards the end of a series sale, people can still draw number one minted cards. So now I'm in the process of working that out for future drops. Obviously, there'll be a series 3 of a Dedhed coming after series 2 as sort of seen its time out. I'm also working on another collection at the moment called Metalhead, which is a heavy metal themed collection. That should be out hopefully in the next few weeks. That is really reliant on Nifty Block's ability to do pre-minted packs. They're hard to get info out of, but from what I can tell, that should be happening in the next couple of weeks. And once we're all good for that, we should be launching that series as well.
Great. Speaking of NFTs, speaking of art, speaking of growing the fan base and collector base, at the end of the day, what's your professional goal?
I don't really know. I'm sort of just rolling with it at the moment and seeing where it goes. I'd love to get to a point where I can make this a my regular income, and so I can throw a little bit more of time into it. It's one of those things, though, because the market does move so quickly. It is quite a high risk to do such a thing. But yeah, if I can turn art into my full-time work, then that's probably the short-term goal as such. And then from there, who knows? I'd really like to get into a lot more collaborating with other artists and getting involved in other people's projects. And I hope over time with like the Wax blockchain and Atomic Hub and stuff like that, make it a little bit easier for people to work together and like share the rewards for it. So instead of it just being distributed all to one owner, it can be spread. If you could share a collaboration 50-50 and things like that. I think that's really where where I'll get the best reward from it. Not financially, but as far as just the feeling of working with other people. That's what makes you happy in the end.
So maybe can you share, do you have a bit of time to show us a little bit of the collection and maybe a scoop of what to come, a single picture of something that will come in the series 3 maybe?
I don't have anything produced for series 3 at all yet, for series 3 of Dedhed. What I do have is some stuff for the Metalhead Collection. Can you see the picture?
Yeah, it's Photoshop guy on a guitar.
Yeah, excellent. No worries. So yeah, so this series is based around heavy metal, and the first release, I'll be doing releases and drops in bands, and the way it will go is you can collect the actual band members, and then you can, like this one, you can collect merchandise, and we'll have tickets and band posters. And the idea is you open packs and you'll get bits and pieces, and then over time you can actually blend to get better products. So you might get band posters and you might blend them to get a gig ticket, and then the gig ticket will get you say an album or things like that.
So they will get the physical item, or
oh no, this is just the actual
okay.
The NFTs for them. So it'll be a bit of a mix. You'll have a chance of drawing the rarer NFTs in packs, but you will also be able to blend for them as well. So it's just a bit of fun, and it revolves around the some bands and that. And once I release some other bands, you'll be able to blend members from one band with another band to create super groups and awesome. Maybe like festival lineups and things like that. So it's a little bit more sort of interactive than Marva series. So people will be able to sort of build what they want out of. There's no sort of end goal to chase this number one top card. They can basically use the cards for whatever they want, to build whatever they want over the time.
But that's awesome. That's basically, you will be giving away one of your Series 2 Ultra packs. So I sent you a link before for a random number selection, and we have 50 to give even chance to everybody who's a holder of this NFT. Now you can just go to the random.org and put from 1 to 50 and generate a number. Whomever have this one, we will fetch him.
Get the pack.
Yeah, we will get
All right, so we'll hit generate. Good luck to everyone.
That's number
7.
7. Congratulations to number 7, whomever he is. And yeah, he will be the winner of one ultra pack from your collection. We hope that they will start collecting your artwork.
That'll be good.
Yeah, it will be pretty good. It's a kind of way to introduce people to new things. My collection is basically pretty small. We have about 50 characters, and each one of them has, yeah. Did you manage to get him? Very nice.
Yeah, I think this guy is already a Dedhed collector.
Don't tell me it's my wallet. Well, I think if it was me who won it, I can give it away also in another future giveaway, so it's not a problem.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll transfer that through.
Congratulations to myself.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah, so by the end, thank you so much for being in Crypto Untangled podcast, for giving us the chance to be the first podcast to host you. Please speak freely about your plan, about collaboration maybe that you would like to share. The air is for you.
Yeah, excellent. Well, yeah, firstly, thanks for having me on. And thanks to all those people that have bought packs and started collecting. I hope you enjoy them. Like I said, I spoke about what we've got upcoming, so I won't go too much on that, but I just want to sort of urge people to have a look around and really buy into some of these smaller independent collections. We get on the wax chain, we get some really big drops from some big big companies. So it's good every now and then to look down at these smaller guys and help them out, because majority of it's going directly to them. A lot of them haven't had a chance to basically draw any income from their art for pretty much all their careers. So it gives an opportunity for that to happen. And there's some really cool projects around. I follow a few. I've just helped Matt, who has done the Darn Tasty corn chips collection, which is really cool concept. So that got dropped on the weekend. That's gone really well. And then, apart from that, I've sort of been following some other collections as well. Like the I'm going to get the name wrong, the Stocky Studio or Stochy Studio. They're a really cool collection as well. So yeah, all these guys are independent artists. I know both of those guys. It's just one guy doing everything, a bit like me. So I always sort of try and hunt out those collections. And yeah, I just want to thank the people that have helped me out in the way. The community's been really awesome. Everyone's been super helpful. Guys like Burst of Energy, who has his Twitch streams. He's been a good promoter of mine right from day dot. And yeah, it's just been excellent. So just thanks to everyone that's helped out.
What's art without fan base? So yeah, basically one success is, how to say, muted to his collectors. If you don't have a strong collector base, no matter what kind of art you are selling, nobody will even notice it. So yeah, definitely.
Spot on.
So in the previous episode, we had one artist. One of his advices were try to be in touch with your fan base, but don't put too much time, because you will be losing time to create.
Definitely.
How would you comment on that?
Oh, definitely. You've got to plan. You've got to split your time correctly. I mean, I've had multiple nights where I've wanted to get a bit done towards my collection, and I've jumped into the Telegram chat, and next thing 4 or 5 hours are gone, and haven't really got anywhere. But it's that's valuable too. But you really need to plan your time quite well. And yeah, if you've got tasks that you need to do towards your creation, make sure you're knocking them out first. And then once you got that done, you can go and interact. But it's definitely a balance.
Awesome. Any advice would you like to drop to some to our audience or to our future artists that would like to join the Wax blockchain or to go to the NFT market before closing?
Yeah, have a plan. But also don't be afraid to make mistakes, because it's the best way to learn. But if you've got a real good vision and a plan of what you want your collection to be from the start, it's gonna help you in the long run. I'm a big fan of jumping in and just having a go, but there's lots. For my series 1, I learned an awful lot that would have been I would have saved a lot of time had I just actually done a few more days research. But if you want to get into it, do mint a couple of NFTs, send them out, do what you can to get your name out there, and then start building collection with your packs. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Guys like myself and people like Burst and even Matt from Corn Chips and that, like we've been through it now, and we're more than happy to answer questions. We're accessible on our Discords and Telegram pages. Don't be afraid to ask questions. We will do our best to answer them. If we don't know, we normally direct them to someone that we think might know. And that's the best thing. We're finding most people are happy to help.
One last question that came just to mind now. Would you recommend pack sales over individual drops?
I think it depends on your content. If you've got a lot of content, and say like with my packs, I had a lot of different images that I wanted to send out and make it sort of a collectible thing, like get the whole set. And I wanted enough to keep people interested. So I think the pack setup is perfect for my style. But then if you're more of a traditional artist that works on big pieces, you might be better selling them, one at a time, doing very small mint runs at a higher price. I think it comes down to what kind of it's an individual choice, but if you're putting a lot of time into an individual NFT, you're probably better releasing them individually, like doing a drop for that particular one. But if you've got lots of characters, you've got a bit of a story behind things, I think packs are the way to go.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Kyle, for your time today. I know that you had a busy day and you just jumped out straight after work to join our podcast. So thank you so much. And
not a problem.
It's a pleasure getting to know you in person. I wish you all the best, and we'll be in touch. Thank you so much.
Excellent. Thanks, mate.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Crypto Untangled. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform so you never miss an episode. For more information, visit us at kryptonnewslebanon.com. We'll see you soon.